It starts recording. All right. Hey guys, welcome to Goku of Light. I guess TV discussion. So pretty much, I've been watching a lot of TV shows. I've been getting more into it, taking a break from anime. I think it's good to refresh yourself, just get like different kind of cultures and things like that. And for me, the main thing I got absorbed into was Game of Thrones. Everybody was messaging me, Game of Thrones, check it out, check it out. Most requested show. I've seen a lot of the other shows like Supernatural, Arrow. So I wanted to watch this. I didn't really know what to expect, and going into it first, I was really thinking more like medieval, or I was like, I didn't, Lord of the Rings, kind of. I didn't really know what to expect, and so I'm gonna not say that I was surprised, but I was just like shocked, like with the level it went to. Like it was amazing for reals. It was a great experience. Like even just by the midway point of season, I don't this discussion right here is only for the first two seasons, so you guys know. I'll do another video when I finish the next couple seasons, but this first two seasons, I just finished them, and by episode 6, I was hooked. Like I barely started watching them on Blu-ray recently, and I was hooked instantly. For me, the good experience was is just like I'm a drama person. I like drama, and from episode 1, we have people just walking in, the king and everybody walking into Winterfall, and it was just amazing for me. Um, I know you haven't. You said you watched it a few months back. It's been a long time since you watched it. So how did you feel the first time you watched it, Justin?
Ay, ay, ay. Damn. I don't.
I don't know if I remember.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm not going to slip up and fucking spoil shit. I do remember the majority of what happened within season one and within season two. I would say season one really.
Season 2 ends with the king dying from Quaithe or whatever, the kingdom, the rich kingdom or whatever. The dragon girl, she kills him.
Oh
She
yeah,
leaves him in the chamber.
Koran.
Yeah,
No, not Koran. That's a fucking wow. That's not even it. Koth. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
this movie
Targaryen.
greatest that ever was or ever will be. Those
Yeah.
motherfuckers got wrecked.
Yeah, they
Um,
got it was quick too. Like they because dude that whole thing it was crazy because it showed you that the elements like of power or like capability in the show, I guess you could say. But they just got wrecked. They weren't ready. Like these
well,
little baby
actually,
dragons set the wizards. Well, for me, I don't know how much stronger it's gonna get, obviously, but I'm seeing so many more elements. Like how they have the white. I think that the White Walkers, and then I'm seeing like these baby dragons basically set that wizard on fire. The wizard was OP. I thought the wizard was gonna wreck everybody. Like he fucking looked sick to me. He was making multiple images. He killed the 13 or whatever they were called. He was looking like he was coming in like a boss. Like I was like, oh shit, and then he started chaining her up and shit. I was like, dang, like that. Like she's just gonna be a hostage. Like I thought it
you
was
know
really just
what
going
though?
down like that. And
You
then
know
he
what
just got
though?
set on fire.
When I was watching season one, I really did feel drawn into the story and also drawn in because of the amazing acting that
Yeah,
was within season one. Not to mention, you actually had multiple storylines that, of course, just flooded in with one another. Season two did the same exact thing, but for me, season two didn't have as much grip to it like season one did. Like season
gotcha.
one literally was just from the first episode, you see the White Walker wreck those fools, and you're just going, wait, what the fuck? And it's just fucking mind blowing. Then with season
Yeah,
two, there's really not that many memorable moments in season two compared to season one, in my opinion. Except for, of course, you have fucking fucking Shadow Baby
I mean, like that.
birthing a fucking Shadow Demon Baby. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that,
That
oh,
shit
that
was
was
great.
I was gonna say.
The
Was it
best person in King
Stan?
Leader?
Is his name Stannis? Stanin or something
Yes,
like that? Stannis.
yeah, Stannis
He,
Baratheon.
he for sure was, I think, my favorite introduction of season two. Um, me personally, I'm real curious to see what happens with him. I like the Fire Priestess. I like because she's just kind of like around him, so I feel like that's adding like a really dark element to it. Aside with
Melisandre, she is a Priestess of the Lord of Light.
Yeah, I dig that being Goku of Light. I dig that for sure. But when I first heard that, I was like, really now? I was like, so he's oh okay, a descendant of light or something like that. That's what they were calling him, you know. I was like, dang.
Yeah, I guess because well, there's a theory within the I believe not only the show but in the books in both called Azora Ahai, where he's supposed to be like the like Azora Ahai reborn, supposed to be the great savior that will vanquish the White Walkers, basically.
Oh, okay, so so it goes a lot into the lore too, as far as like the past and like people that saved them. Um,
Pretty much, yeah. But but thing is, like the show kind of hints at it, and the books go more. My understanding, they go more into depths about it.
okay.
Yeah.
So so
Okay. What did you think of the Battle of Blackwater?
name which battle that takes place in each season. Like, which
Season
one was
two,
that? That's
it's season two,
it.
episode 9.
Okay, so that's the one right after when Ned dies, right?
Oh no. Ned dies in season 1.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what you were saying.
season 2,
Oh, okay.
it's a battle where Stannis.
Oh, the black. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about exactly.
Yeah,
It's
Stannis
the
coming
it's the
in
one with the wildfire.
Dragonstone.
The one where they introduced the wildfire, where they're shooting off the green fire into the thing. Yeah. So
Yes.
that was real interesting because you know what I really enjoyed about that is the queen was gonna kill herself. You know, it was crazy. Like she was gonna kill herself, or the kid. You know, she thought it was all over.
Oh yeah.
She was ready to bail out. She had that guy there that has no tongue, ready to kill everybody else. Like the queen is pretty savage, like just to say
Oh,
the least. You know, just
I
to
know what
say
this
the least.
too. Shit.
And huh? What was that?
The guy with his tongue cut out. I
Yeah,
know I know his I know his fucking name, but I can't remember it with the goddamn bitch.
yeah.
Uh,
The guy with the you know, essentially with the missing tongue. He was there. You know, you could tell he was going to do his job, and just the hype around it. It really looked like they were about to lose. This show because prior to that, I seen how people when they look like they're going to die, they really die. I didn't think anybody was going to save them, so that was really unexpected when I seen them get saved. Um, and just the difference like in the character like of the midget. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. I'm sure
Tyrion.
you. Yeah, there you go. Just seeing the way that like he changed, I guess, like from prior he seemed like more of a coward, or he really didn't want to part in it as much. But then as people started putting faith in him, he really just started taking more of a role. Like in the battle, he actually went out and began, you know, to fight as the quote unquote king, you know, ran. He really stepped in and almost got himself killed. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh
And
yeah, like one
then
of those bitch ass king guards
yeah,
struck at him in broad fucking battle.
yeah, one of the queen's people attempted to kill him at that. You know, that was another thing.
No, it wasn't the queen's. It was one of Joffrey's king's guard.
Yeah, but
What?
they were saying that when I just watched it recently, they were saying that he did it under the queen's order. I don't know if that's like a lie or something, but that's what they had previously said or whatever. So
Mm.
I don't know how that works out, but I mean just essentially just seeing the constant plotting against each other for me. Um, obviously there's a lot of problems with the the I would say the incest, you know, everything between Jamie and the Queen and things like that. But I really enjoy the Lannisters personally. Um, I really enjoy them as far as like.
Are you a Lannister fan?
I think it's a little too early to say. I want to see a
Really?
little bit more of the characters before I would say which family I like the best. But I really do like the Lannisters.
Personally,
I've heard.
I think every single family in the show has uh fucking awesome characters. You know,
Yeah.
even the lesser families do as well.
No, yeah, for sure. I think with the Lannisters, the main reason I liked them was like their, I guess, like principles to a degree, like the way that they were just real ruthless and cunning to a degree, and but at the same time, the main like bloodline, there was a different sense of urgency. Like when Jamie got captured, like the whole like strategy changed. You could see that I felt like they were losing the battle just because they didn't have him. It was a game changer. So to see that like that made that big of a difference because, there was a big hype. There was so much hype around Ned Stark. Going into the beginning, I thought I was gonna actually get to see him fight. That was a thing for me. I thought he was actually gonna get freed, and I thought we were gonna see him fight. And I was waiting for all that. So when he actually got decapitated, and on top of that, he confessed and like basically like dissed his honor. Like it was epic. I didn't see it going down that way. Me and my roommate, he just watched it for the first time too, so it was epic for both of us. Just seeing, just having those moments, really, just the surprising moments. I think that's the best thing I've had with this. It's surprising moments. I've learned to kind of expect like people to die, and like people have said like not to have a favorite character kind of thing. So I've learned to see that kind of happen. But for me,
Well, the thing is, like, you can have favorite characters, of course, but just know that no character is fucking safe. That's the only thing, you know, because like every single season, they introduce more characters. Of course, older characters come back, and you don't know whether or not a character that looks like they're going to be safe will be safe fucking later on, or what have you, you know? And plus, some characters will actually get a, what is it now? Ooh. They'll suffer a punishment worse than death, basically. I'll just
yeah,
put it like that.
for for me, I think her name is Daenerys yeah, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's been my favorite character so far. Anyways, just because like in the very beginning, when I first seen her, it was just like, okay, this is like a beautiful girl. But then you seen her start getting raped, and I was like, dang, that's pretty fucked up. Like I thought she was gonna break quick. I thought she was gonna be like done. I didn't see her
Oh,
making it long into the
this
story.
reminded me of the great Khal Drogo.
Yeah, exactly. He was epic.
Epic
Like,
fucking Khal Drogo. Like, okay, dude, that moment where he has like all that gold poured into the fucking cauldron,
hmm
and he's like, "Here's your crown" on Viserys.
yeah, and he
He
throws it on his head.
pours it
Yeah,
on top of his
a
head.
crown for a king. Yeah.
God, that shit was badass. And then Daenerys like lays down those words, just goes, "A dragon doesn't get burned." I was like, "Damn, no,
Yeah, just dissed him.
wrecked."
Oh yeah, and it's even more to the fact when that the way season one ends, where she is able to go into the fire and gives birth to the dragons. So it just shows that like she was so much more of like an heir or connected to that bloodline than he was. You know what I mean? He was, and even if he did have some kind of connection, he was just, in my opinion, he was more of a coward. Like the whole thing where he was like in the very beginning, where he was like, "Oh, I'll let 1,000 people rape you to get what I want," kind of thing. It showed like he didn't really have that connection to his bloodline. It wasn't about loyalty. It was about just him trying to
The
get a
thing
throne.
though that they do not, okay, they only show one aspect of Viserys's character
hmm
in the show. And that was more of his like, you know, his prideful dickish side. Okay, where we can tell he's very prideful of being a Targaryen, and he is a complete fucking dick to his sister.
hmm
But from what I have actually read in the books, you get a sense of that he does care for his sister, but he's still like really fucked up. Like he's willing to do anything to gain, their position back, since it was taken from them by Robert Baratheon. Do you know the whole story of Robert and Rhaegar?
Um,
Like,
I, I know
like
I know I
how
know some of it. I know that I guess like the Kingslayer is the one that killed him or something like that. That's
No,
the.
no, Jamie killed the Mad King.
Oh, okay, yeah, he killed them.
I
He
thought
killed the Mad King, and then the other one killed Rhaegar because Stark's sister, right? Stark's sister. He took Stark's sister. That's what happened.
yeah. The Stark sister initially was supposed to marry Robert, and Robert's like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna wage fucking hell now. So that's basically what happened. That's basically what happened in a nutshell with that.
Yeah.
But you get the sense that in the books, they were saying Viserys, that he did care about his sister, or at least he cared about their lineage, because it's like, we're the last two, we have to stick together, we have to take on this world because it's only fucking us left. That's
So
it.
there was more of he actually showed more of an attachment to his sister rather than just throwing her to the side.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were, from my understanding, constantly going from place to place to place to place, because the king kept on sending assassins after them, knowing full well that they escaped the raid.
One thing I was wondering, so this will be a good time because you could probably answer a lot of questions. So how the guy that protects her the majority of the time, the guy that's like the knight, the one that carries the sword majority of the time, he's like I think he was like considered like a traitor or like of the kingdom. Like they talk about him sometimes, like he's he's like the one that knew that she was going to be poisoned in that one town, and he's like the older looking dude, almost like a Indiana Jones looking type.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Why is that name not coming up? Mormont. His last name's Mormont. Jorah Mormont.
Yeah, there you go.
That's who it is. Jorah Mormont.
Yeah. So what's his complete connection to her, and why is he like so dedicated to her?
Okay, I actually got this information from watching a video off of YouTube. Okay, from my understanding, his father, currently where you're watching, he is still, shit, let's fuck that up. He's the Night Watch commander, okay? Commander of the Night Watch.
That was his father?
There's this place in the north called Bear Island.
Mm-hmm.
It was rumored that like a Stark from the past ended up defeating I think it was a Jesus. A Greyjoy. Because apparently Bear Island was under their command, but then it got in a wrestling match or some bullshit. The Stark won, them packing,
Yeah.
Because the Greyjoys actually, from my understanding, I believe at one point in time they actually own not only the Iron Islands, but also like a good portion of like the banks of the North, basically.
Yeah.
And Bear Island is like
basically like a lot of the surrounding waters that belong to the North they used to control.
Yeah, basically. And so Bear Island was given to the Mormonts to watch over it, who are, I think they're the most loyal house to House Stark.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
And so when the guy who's in charge of the Night's Watch, whose name's just totally fucking escaping me right now, he actually left that place in charge to his son, who fell in love with some like really fucking pretty woman who has very, very extravagant tastes. So in order to like keep up with her, extravagant tastes, because apparently the castle on Bear Island is like made of fucking wood. It's like a wooden castle and shit.
I got you.
So they're essentially the like poorest fucking house as well.
Yeah.
But they're apparently they're strong as fuck. Okay.
Like they're hella fucking with it, strong, epic. But they're
Yeah.
basically like how they showed like what was it like the stone tribe or whatever, the ones that are really strong but they live in the
Yeah.
woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From my understanding, they're like physically, these guys are fucking monsters physically.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Jorah was doing like slave trading or some shit like that, or human extortion or some shit like that. Human
Hmm.
trafficking. Ned found out, and Ned was going to, pretty much kill him under the decree of the king. Because you gotta remember, the king can't be ever fucking once, and Ned is the warden of the North.
Yeah.
It means that he oversees the whole fucking North.
Oh, yeah, I got
So
you.
if someone's doing human trafficking, it's like, okay, I gotta fucking kill you. So instead of accepting his sentence, um, Jorah fled.
So
He fled to the other side of the world, which is uh, it's Essos. So they're at right now. Because there's I think there's Essos, and there's also Bravos,
oh, okay. So
which you probably heard of. You heard of Bravos already because of. Okay, tonight's not a great night for me. Fuck, I keep forgetting fucking names.
you need a
God
list of the
damn it.
names. Um. So okay. So
Syrio. Okay, Syrio Forel, the trainer of Arya Stark.
yeah.
He mentioned Bravos. He mentioned he was the greatest swordsman of Bravos, but you're not going to see Bravos until season 5.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and so I mean, one thing I feel like I wondered, and obviously it wouldn't be something for you to answer, but is if he actually died right there, that's pretty interesting because they kind of cut off right there. They went to the side. They didn't show whether or not he won or lost the battle to the knight he was fighting, and then they just showed his sword break. That's all they showed, and then it cut off.
Whose sword?
Her trainer.
Oh, it's weird. Arya thinks that he's dead. A lot of fans don't think he's dead because it's one of those things. It's like, well, his head wasn't on the fucking spikes when Sansa was forced to look at her dead dad's fucking head on a spike. Hell, at that moment you see Ned's head on the spike, right?
Hmm.
You can see the maiden woman,
Yeah.
like right next to him. But if you look
Yeah.
at the heads, there's no cereal there at all. So it's
Okay.
like, what actually happened? Did
So I
he?
mean, to the point you guys were in a story you guys don't know.
I haven't read that far into the story, to be honest. So even I don't
So
know, like,
so
when it happened
how far
cereal.
ahead are the books opposed to the show?
It all the show is like neck to neck with the books, but there is a lot of characters that were cut out of the books. There's a lot of moments that were changed up from the books to the show. Um, a lot of times where different direction, different, I guess you can say, artistic directions taken with the show.
It's more of a TV adaptation.
Yeah, yeah, it's an adaptation. Like, from my understanding, the first book is actually the most accurate. It's the most accurate of the entire TV show, but even with that, it's a lot different. Like, for example, okay, prologue, where you have the White Walker kill those guys, as you
Yeah.
see in the show. Well, they don't show you is that, okay, I'm not sure you remember this, but one of the dudes in the beginning, like, if you notice, like, he has like a really, really clean looking fucking coat on and like very slick black hair. He almost looks like a looks like a pretty boy basically.
Okay. And so what about that though?
All right, in the show, you see him get killed off like really fucking quickly,
Yeah.
but in the book, he actually goes toe to toe with the White Walker and battles him for a while.
Oh, okay, so he's actually a lot better of a character in the book,
Kind
or
of.
he actually makes an effort, or he has more relevance in the book, or is he still just
He's just a he's some lord from some other fucking house and shit, and it's kind of epic because he unsheathes his sword and he shouts out for Robert before trying to fight the White Walker, but while he's giving like his much effort, it describes the White Walker just blocking and parrying his attacks with just minimal ease.
yeah, I got you. So
Like, he's actually fucking trying to hit him. Then White Walker's just like, miss me with that bullshit. Come on now. You know?
yeah, I got you. So I think for me, like the deaths would have like I it would have been just a good show if it was just reliant on the deaths and the turns and stuff like that. But like you said, the acting is really good. I think that's what brings it to life. The acting is really well done. Like some of my favorite shows, like even don't even have the best acting. There that you could tell it's cheesy. Like for example, Supernatural. I think Supernatural is a great show, but I don't think that the acting's great. Like I don't think on the CW a lot of the shows the acting's great, but I like the shows. They're generally fun to watch. Um, and so like to see a show like this, like it really is like one of those shows that when you buy the box sets, you really feel like it's an experience. I guess you could say more or less opposed to like some shows where it's just a DVD. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Like it includes a lot of the stuff like for example, I'm looking forward to rewatching the episodes with like the commentary and the different things and just hearing what they have to say and things like that. I think that's always really cool with shows like this. Have you watched the commentaries and all that stuff already, or you don't really care for that, or?
Well, I actually watch this. Initially, I watched this show illegally.
So initially you pirated the show, so it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I bought on Blu-ray. I don't have a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Tongue twister. Wow. Um, I bought the first season on DVD. I'm letting my friend borrow it because he's always wanted to watch it. And once I find a decent priced versions for season 2, 3, and 4, of course, I'm gonna fucking purchase that shit as well. So I have not watched any of like special features, but I have watched like some special features off of YouTube for other seasons because they'll have like features for talking about different areas, like talking about the North. We're talking about Essos. There's actually one that talks about the.
So I was just gonna ask you, are they like informative? Like, do they help you understand the story better, or are they just like random like actors
Oh no,
talking?
they're quite informative. There's one that talks about the history of the Night's Watch. One that talks about Robert's Rebellion in pretty good fucking detail. Um, yeah, a lot of good ones. Even ones that are for lesser houses, where you get to learn about how the house kind of came into existence, and their trait and connections to other houses in that specific region.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of the background story, I guess. That's cool because I really, for me, that's one of the things that's I think like is missing when I enjoy anime or a few other different like cultures of shows is like you really feel like you're missing like plots or like stories or background information. So I think that's really cool if this has that. You know what I mean? I'll enjoy watching that for sure. I mean, I might even want to make other videos on that if that's something. Um,
Oh yeah,
so you
and not to
said
mention, I'm not
what?
sure if you felt this or not, but like for me, Game of Thrones was one of the few um, where I every single house has like its great fucking characters and characters that are just
Lame.
like you're like no, like literally watching
No.
it going fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I wish you
Yeah.
fucking die. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand. Like, like obviously like people don't like Jamie. You know, I don't think people would like Jamie. Um, I think like for
Oh, Jamie.
me,
Oh, dude, Jamie's an awesome character. I like Jamie. I like his sister Cersei. I
well
don't like her at all.
for me just like the I don't know like that was
Then
I think
there's a character like fucking you know I'm gonna have to look that up real quick.
yeah they got the character's name.
I'm
Um,
forgetting
well for
shit.
me I with Jamie he was cool, you know, but like I really I don't know like okay this is the thing like the hype around him is cool and I really would have probably got into the character if he didn't come off with that negative vibe off the very beginning. Like he pushed Brand just off the castle and all that stuff, and then so I'm only like 2 seasons in, you know, so given like he may redeem himself like going into the third and fourth season I might sit there and think like oh yeah he's a dope ass character, but at the current moment where I'm at finishing season 2 I really don't like him. He's been a douche and you know, he's. I mean, even the douche factor isn't that bad because I like a lot of villains, but just everything he's just being with his sister and all this other stuff. It was just dirty off the start. Like he just set that negative vibe off the start. Before you even knew who the Lannisters were, you knew they were fucked up people. Like it was just like I didn't even know who they were, but I just knew at that moment like to watch these people. Like so yeah, that's how he gave me that vibe. I don't know.
Your
Maybe he
opinion
redeems
might
himself.
change.
Huh?
I'm thinking your opinion will change later on.
Well, he must do some amazing things to redeem himself from incest, I must say. I get the whole thing about keeping the bloodlines pure and how how that works, but yeah, I don't think anybody else is sitting there thinking that. A lot of other people, if it was such a proper thing, they wouldn't be like whispering about it and stuff like that. It wouldn't be this big secret. Obviously, they're not.
All right, that's his fucking name. Okay, finally found it. Tywin Lannister.
Who? Which one are we talking about?
The father.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
know, old guy who's like really
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dope.
I know who he is.
Yeah, like that's a character that I both love and hate at the same fucking time because he's incredibly fucking smart, but he's like a giant fucking douche, you know?
I got you.
Especially to Tyrion. Like a real big fucking douche. Oh, okay. So, what was like one of your favorite lines from the show?
Hmm. That's a good. That's a good question. I mean, dang. Hmm. I think that I don't remember exactly how it went, but it had to be the one from I think you said her name Ceci, I believe is her name.
Cersei.
So yeah, Cersei. Cersei when she told Ned
Trust
that
me on this. Learn to say character names correctly, because people will hate you if you don't. It's one of those kind of shows where it's
yeah,
where
and that's why this is more of like a first impression kind of thing, you know. It's more of a first impression video, and I will get the names down better. I'm just kind of going off of what I remember. But it's essentially when she told Stark that he basically should have took the crown when he had the chance, and that when you play the Game of Thrones, like if you don't win, you lose, kind of thing. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, how she broke that down to him. That like that moment right there, you knew he fucked up. Like you just knew it was yeah.
One of my favorite lines, and this is from season 1, is where it was a war council, and it was a very last episode, okay, and one of the guys is talking about like trying to establish peace again with the North, after Ned was killed off, and of course you have Robb and all North Bannermen just fucking raining hell on them now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No, yeah.
so Tyrion just casually just pushes a wine glass off the table. It breaks and goes, "Peace." There's your piece right there. That's what happened when Joffrey decapitated Ned Stark. He shattered the peace.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty epic for sure. I think he brings like some of the best acting to it for sure.
Dude, fuck yeah. Tyrion is like one of my favorite characters in the show. Oh yes, speaking of characters, like who do you like?
I mean, for sure, I was saying I like Daenerys. Aside from that, I liked Stannis. I thought he was pretty cool. Being introduced as this descendant of light and the destined one, and like they just added a lot of lore to him. Like he's gonna be pretty badass. And like even just like the even though they lost that battle that they went to, it was like what was it, the Blackwater? Is that what it was called, or what did you call it? Black?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, he was kicking ass. You know, even if they ended up losing the battle, he probably had to withdraw. They lost their numbers and they had to dip or whatever. But when he got a chance to get into the fight, he was kicking ass. And I thought it was pretty cool that like out of the main characters that I've gotten hyped up, he's really delivered right there. Like all the other characters I've seen at this point, they either die or it just doesn't really go their way, or we don't really get to see them fight too much. Like we don't really like for everything with Rob Stark and all the battles he's won. We didn't really see any of the battles. We just hear about them. So to actually see like somebody fighting, you know, amongst the leaders, that was pretty cool. He was like climbing the wall himself and leading the charge.
Oh, yeah,
I thought that was, yeah, I thought that was pretty epic. Aside from that, rounding out probably the other person that was I guess a big impact was what was his name? You just said his name earlier. The one that was married to the girl at first and he dies from the cut. Um, the the tribesman, the one with the big, you know, the he's married to Daenerys.
Drogo.
Drogo. There you go. Drogo,
Yeah.
I think, was for sure, you know, one of the most mentionable characters. At first, he was kind of a savage, you know, and he still was a savage towards the end. There was no point when he wasn't a savage, but you could see he was developing. Like he had an attachment to her. He was like calling her like the moon of his life and all this other stuff. Like he was developing. Like he could have been so much more. Like he could have bridged that society of those people. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah.
he was developing and he was gonna have a son and he wanted to give his son the throne and all this other stuff. Like it
Oh,
becomes so much more.
I don't know if you like noticed this or not, but there was a weird parallel, in my opinion, to Khal Drogo and Robert, where, in my opinion, like like okay, initially look at it, you have Khal Drogo who is like this leader of fucking savages, and Robert who is like he's the king of the fucking Seven Kingdoms, right?
Yeah.
Now, you'd think, okay, Robert would be more pristine, and Khal Drogo would be just a fucking savage, but felt like that was fucking just switched.
Yeah, like Robert would just like be with whatever girls, and he just didn't have
Yeah, like
respect,
constantly
and
and
he was just
drinking,
he was just a brute, you know. He
constant
was
beast
just
mode, basically.
just constantly going ham. He was getting drunk. He was punking people. He was just doing whatever he wanted, and like while the other guy
He
Drago
had
had
no
respect
respect
for
for
his
his wife at
tribesmen.
all.
Yeah, and like Drago was the kind of person like if you didn't respect the girl, like once he had grown attached to her and he realized she was something to him, she wasn't just like the girl that he was fucking. Like it was completely different. Like you had to respect her. Like her word was something, you know. Like he was ready to kill people every time they disrespected her. I mean, basically his greatest downfall was trying to protect her. You know, he got that cut because she was all that stuff, all that controversy she created over those girls and stuff like that, and he was trying to protect her. And then even that, she's the one that brought the witch. You know what I mean? And the witch, you look like she poisoned him and everything else. You know. So I
Oh
mean,
no, that fucking witch did poison him.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, just in that self, she was part of his downfall. Um, but he was an epic character. I really want, you know, prior to that because it really happened fast. Like it just spiraled out of control really fast. His death, like it just came unexpected. So like I prior to that was really looking forward to seeing him like get over there and fight some of the like because how what's his name it was like hold on, let me say this. I'll
But
just check his name.
I'll tell you this right now, man. Like,
The way Jorah explained like how the knights fought differently with the armor and stuff like that, and that their weapons wouldn't work. I wanted to
yeah.
see how he was gonna adjust. Like, would he really just get slashed by them and just destroyed, or was he gonna like just grab their sword and like fucking rape them? Like I don't know how it was gonna go down. And that's kind of just what I wanted to see. Like, so that for me was a little disappointing, but at the same time it was like epic. It was a twist.
Okay, so did you um how did you feel about Ned getting killed?
Oh man, it was the hook for me. It was the hook because prior to that, I had watched maybe like 2 episodes. Like I wasn't binge watching it. Like I had watched 2 episodes here, I had watched two there, and then the episode that I seen him get executed, I watched the rest of season 1 and started season 2. Like it was just it was on and cracking from there. It pulled me in. Like it was more than I expected because prior to that, I was expecting what I see with a lot of TV shows where like the main character finds plot holes or ways to survive, especially when I seen him dishonor himself. Like the moment he started dishonoring himself when he actually confessed just to save her, I thought he was going to go to the Night Watch or something like that. I thought it was really going to go like that, and he got executed. And even then, when they went to the end of the episode, you think like maybe you going to the next episode, like okay, maybe something happened, he got saved, da 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 da, and then you actually see his head on the spike, and it actually went there. Um, I thought that was pretty epic, and for me, it was a game changer because prior to that, like I felt like everybody was kind of like I guess like equal to an extent. Like I felt like there was like this like equalness that or this balance that I had seen between like a lot of the kingdoms. Like it felt like there was a reason why they weren't at war, kind of thing. But then when he died, it felt like everything changed. Like his death was like the game changer, because at that point you no longer knew if like the Starks were going to be anything, or if they were just going to huddle. Or I didn't know if, like how that was going to go. Like I didn't expect Rob to step up. Like that wasn't what I was expecting. So like I didn't know how the Starks were going to go. I thought the Lannisters and all them were just gonna take over for a big part of it, and I thought they were just gonna like basically corrupt everybody into the point that that Drago came. It was kind of what I was expecting. I thought Drago would come or like some of his people, and the battle was gonna revolve more around over like the sea and like constantly attacking each other like that. I didn't think it was gonna be so much of the deception within each other. That's what I didn't expect. That kind of like launched the beginning of the deception because at that point you seen the Queen didn't have control of Joffrey or whatever, and it just went to another level. Like everybody was kind of more independent, and everybody was kind of acting more to their own accord rather than like what was better for the kingdom, kind of thing. So that was the difference in it. You've seen the personality stick out more, I think.
That's like for me, I actually got spoiled about his death, so I knew it was going to happen. So when I saw it, I wasn't shocked, but I was pissed off because of the fact that little fucker Joffrey like promised to Sansa that oh I'll let your dad live, but it's like a buddy of mine says, if you really think about it, Joffrey had to do that. He had to do it because one, he's a newly appointed king. Okay, now granted he is not the rightful heir to the throne because as we learned he's not blood related.
Yeah.
The rightful heir to the throne actually would be Stannis Baratheon.
Yeah.
But as a new king, you need to demonstrate to the people that, look, this guy's a fucking traitor, and I'm gonna behead him.
So off his limited knowledge, you feel like it was the right move, or you're just saying that it's what somebody told you?
I actually do feel that it probably was the right move because okay, think of it like this, right? If you're given a if you're given power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of power, ruling country or whatever, and they told you like, okay, this guy, he is a fucking traitor, he was gonna usurp the fucking throne when you weren't, looking and all that shit, by just give him a little, tap on the wrist and like, okay, go to the Night's Watch. Live the rest of your days out there. People are starting to think, wow, this guy's really fucking soft at heart. He doesn't have any gusto. So by killing Ned, it's kind of like sending a message to everyone, going like, okay, this kid means fucking business. Shit.
On the same note though, with like even if he was established that like he meant business, you could show that like he takes that to a whole nother accord. Like he didn't really take care of none of his people. He's like leading them into this war. Everything's
Oh
like
yeah.
rebelling against him.
Oh yeah, because Joffrey is he's a little piece of shit.
What was funny about it, or like I think like great about it too, is just like how strongly they play the bloodline thing. How like you have like Jon Snow, who's like a capable character. He's really a swordsman. He looks pretty like he'd be dope. Like he probably is just as capable as Robb, if not more, from what I've seen.
Oh, Jon
And
Snow. See, you're not. Oh, man, Jon Snow got kind of skipped. He got kind of skipped in season 2, and he was a little bit in season 1. But oh god, season 2. Wait till you watch season 3, season 4. Jon Snow is
well, yeah, I'm expecting him to be, yeah, exactly. I expect him to be pretty badass, and so like, but you could see because he's a bastard, it's like there's a whole nother just vibe thing. He's just not even given the light of day. And it's like a character like that. I feel like if he wasn't and he was actually like a Stark, it just changes the whole perspective of it. And so to see how the bloodline and all that plays into it, and how this kid that's obviously not suited to reign over the kingdom is the king no matter what, because they think he's the blood. So I think that's interesting to see how they're all just willing to bow down to his whim, even if he is like 13 or 14. I don't even know how old he is, but like he's like he's pretty young. He's like at most like 16 or something. I don't know. I didn't really get a grasp on how old he was. I don't know. Even did they say how old he is in the first season?
Ooh, Joffrey?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be around 13.
Yeah. Okay. So like yeah. So yeah. Right, yeah. Because in what's he from what I know, I try to stay away from as many spoilers as I can. I know that there's obviously a majority of these characters are gonna die, so I'm trying not to look at a lot of it. But
Yeah, stay away from the wiki, by the way.
yeah,
Both
um,
both the Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire wiki, because a lot of times at the very beginning of like a character profile, it'll literally say it'll have status and it'll say either alive, deceased, or unknown. It'll just
it just throws it out there right there.
and
I got you.
I've saw that a couple times while I was watching the show, and I'm like, oh, well, fuck my life. A couple of times. And some characters like I was like, oh, okay. Well, I kind of see them fucking dying. You ever thought about
Um, here's something to bring up because somebody asked this question. So you know how we were talking about Tywin Lannister, um, how you were saying like you love him and hate him kind of thing.
yeah,
Um, I think that one of the things that made me actually start to like the character a little bit more was the connection that he had with Arya, or basically how I think that's going to change obviously going further into it. I expect him to find out who she is, and feel differently about it. But I think at that point it was kind of cool to see him like bond with her, and to see that like he seems like overall like a cool dude. Like I think that, I mean, the twistedness in it I haven't really seen yet. So that's what I'm interested to see so far. Like everything that he's done prior to this, I feel like he's just done as a good leader. Like I haven't seen nothing wrong from season 1 and 2 of the character. So the fact that you say you hate and love him, I'm thinking that he has a dark past, or maybe I'll see something different. I don't know. Um,
oh no, I say that because, well, you're not there yet.
yeah. So I'll just say this.
There's a major fucking moment in season 3, which honestly, if you were at all, if you got at all shooken up by Ned Stark being decapitated, that doesn't come close. Let's put it that way.
Well, I, I'm me personally, I'm actually gonna start watching season 3 tonight. I watch these like every night. I'm getting caught up. I'm gonna be like current within the next week or two. So that's a thing I'm looking forward to. But I would just say overall, it felt like it gave me more based, I would say, attachment to the character. Like prior to this, I just seen him as a leader. I didn't really know the character. But going into this, you've seen him talking a bit more. He gets a little bit more connection and explaining like his relationship with his daughter, and we even see him start to share some of the food with her and take interest in her. But at the same time, he reminds her like know your place. Like he's real consistent on that. He knows his place, and he has this whole lion concept. I really dig it. He's the king, and he promotes that with the lion. And I really personally, one thing I've really picked up on or noticed is like how like a lot of the stronger characters identify with animals. I think it's pretty cool. Seeing how like Ned and them are like the wolves, and then them, they're like the lions, and then they're I think there's like a few more that were mentioned, but I just don't remember all of them off the top of my head. So that was pretty dope. Look at it. Jon Snow develops so much throughout every season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, I think he's going to be one of the more interesting characters, and he's going to be one of the characters that is going to always be the side story. Always going into everything with the White Walkers, or at least that's what I expect. That should be pretty interesting. Um,
Yeah,
so
sorry, I just a whole thing you just said because
oh no worries. I'm just talking to I was just talking to the people asking questions, so no worries.
okay, okay.
Yeah. I was just answering a question. So, anyways, I guess going into the where I'm left off at the end of season 2. Um,
The fuck's the end
I'm
of season two?
at
Oh
the
yeah.
very end of the season 2. What I'm looking forward to seeing is her get a ship and her actually make it over there, because they've spoke about how people westward will like proclaim the dragon, and when they know she's back, they'll want her to be the heir and all this other stuff. So I'm kind of interested to see how that actually works out for her. If it's going to work out like that, I don't think it will, but I hope it does. She's one of my favorite characters. I hope she doesn't like that. That's one person, because that she's like considered the only bloodline of the dragon. I feel like if she dies, it's going to be a really big thing, like a really big blow to the overall impact of the story. Unless she has a kid prior to that, so that's going to be something that I look forward to seeing. And I thought, one thing I kind of like really like. What's funny is this is the only time I really predicted anything or seen anything coming, was when the person that used to be like her servant or her helper was the one that betrayed her to take the dragons. I think that was like real obvious. So then when I seen that, it was good to see how she dealt with them. She pretty much just like locked them in a vault. So that was pretty cool. I like how firm she kind of is on her thing, but at the same time she's like loyal to her people.
That was good as fuck. Like the part actually surprised me, and I was actually glad it happened. We learned that Davos, you know, Stannis' like right hand man, the Onion Knight, that he survived. But I kind of felt like his pain because he witnessed his son get burned alive
Yeah,
by
he
the
watched
dragon.
it. He watched his son burn alive, and he watched the fleets and everybody else basically like get destroyed. And I mean, the thing about it was, is I felt like he was one of the only people that had a good perception on the fact that it wasn't going to be an easy battle. Like everybody else felt like they were a little too arrogant in that situation. I felt like looking at it, like everybody else was like they were so hyped up by the fire priestess or whatever you want to call her. That she was dope, obviously, but I felt like she hyped them up so much and that they didn't just know what they were walking into. And obviously, the wildfire was just like a dirty trick, and it was something that just came out of nowhere. It was unexpected, but I expected a few elements like that to get introduced, so that was pretty cool. And obviously, like they were foreshadowing of that prior to that. Um, so I mean, I think that it was foreseeable, and I don't know. I think that it's going to be great to see like Stannis come back. I want to see his comeback. At the very end of the episode, at the season 2, we seen him like looking into the fire, and she was like showing him a fire, and she was like, "See what I see," and like so it's like they're seeing this same vision of him becoming the king, apparently, or becoming some kind of savior. So that's what I'm interested in seeing. I think that for me that means like just guessing. Obviously a lot of people might just know that I'm wrong off the start, but I think that that means that he's either gonna be like a key component in fighting the White Walkers, or b he will become a king. So that's gonna be pretty dope to see. He's one of my favorite characters, and then rounding out the everything with the questions. Somebody asked me about Sansa, or yeah, that's how your name say her name, right? The princess, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that
actually,
with
she's not.
her,
She's not a princess. She is a lady.
well, yeah, okay, a lady. So she's a lady. She looked like she was gonna be a princess, but not no more. Um, so everything with her, I felt like it's interesting because I think it goes all the way back to the point where everything happened with the wolves, and the wolf was killed. I think from the moment that she decided to stick with Joffrey, she had to stick with Joffrey. I think that was like a key component moment, because I feel like if she didn't want to, that would have been the moment to actually stand against him, because then her dad would have seen it, and it could have would have led to a split right there. And the likeliness of them leaving the kingdom prior to all this like craziness would have been likely, I think. So even though it would have been a bad to act against Joffrey, it would have been better there than any other point, because I feel like as everything unraveled further and further, there really just wasn't a chance for her. She just really got pulled in strongly. It would have been one of those things where he probably would have just killed her right away. So I don't really feel like she had much options. And really seeing, I feel like her development going from being more of like a selfish character to like understanding her role in trying to please Joffrey for the fact that she had a bigger picture, or a bigger role in the play. It wasn't that she wanted to be a queen anymore. She even enjoyed the idea of being this princess, but she realized that she had to help the kingdom, and she had to control this kind of crazy guy that was going to be part of something bad in the future. So I think that was kind of cool to see her take that responsibility upon herself. Mm. You got anything to say about that? You are sure?
I agree with you.
Grape
Um,
grape juice. Grape juice says that he was pissed off.
at Ned being decapitated.
No, he said that at Joffrey, the fact that she sided with Joffrey in season 1 pissed him off.
Oh yeah, but I'm pretty sure that now, not now where the story is currently at, but where you're at in the story, that Sansa, you can tell she had a fucking change of heart towards Joffrey. It's like I think she fucking despises him.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty
It,
epic to see that. That's what I was saying. The far from being selfish character, because prior she was just like thinking that she was gonna have all these little babies, and it was a fairy tale kind of life. And then so when she's seen how evil this dude was, it was like it started to make more sense to her. You know what I mean? And it was
it,
because she didn't really see that everything with
where
Robert.
even in scenes where she is being asked, like, oh, do you really love him, blah blah, and she's like, yes, I love the Majesty, blah blah. But like, you can tell by her body language that she doesn't mean what she's saying.
No, yeah, she has like that monotone voice and that stale face, and it's like, um, I like some of like the things that I feel like.
She's doing the Kristen Dunst look, except for she's actually a good actor. Kristen Dunst.
I think one of the moments that I really like too is his name's Tyrion, right? Tyrion, the
Yeah, Tyrion.
the Tyrion. I can see you cringe when I said that. Tyrion. I feel like one of the things with him when he was saying you may actually outlive us. When he started saying stuff like that, I think that was pretty cool, because it was showing that she had like become wiser. She wasn't going to get herself killed prior. Um, so prior to like her dad dying, I felt like she was very immature. Everything where she was just like, "Oh, I don't want a doll," and all this other stuff. And at the very end, when you see when she was getting ready to actually like flee the kingdom and leave and stuff like that, one of the main things that she was going to take was the doll. You know what I mean? So she started to see that sentimental value and things like that. So I thought that was pretty good to see. Let's see. So I mean, going into it, is there anything else you feel like you want to talk about? Just about season 1 or 2, or do you feel like you covered everything you want to talk about, or anything like that? How do you feel?
I have nothing else to talk about it, honestly. I've said like everything I wanted to say about both seasons when I was reviewing every episode individually. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, I mean, more or less, I guess you guys could just look forward to pretty much me just doing discussions. I'll have these discussions with people that like the show, and just want to answer questions. And pretty much a lot of people are going to be more knowledgeable than me since they're reading books and things like that. So it's just a good way of like Q&A, just getting answers out there, maybe things that you guys don't know. It was just an enjoyable show for me. I'll be sure to do this when I'll do another one probably on.
fucking
What was
show to
that?
be honest.
What was that one more time?
I'm pretty knowledgeable about the show, but there's still a lot of shit I don't even know about.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like I think that's one of the greatness about this show is like if you're anybody that's like if you're one of the anime fans that's watching this, or if you're anybody that's like that just watches this show in particular, that's one of the great things about it is like the mysteries or kind of just the theories you could put together with. I really like when good writers leave the openings for you to use your imagination. So I would just say that this is obviously another great work of art. I look forward to doing a discussion on season 3, 4, and 5. We look forward to that in the next coming weeks. So anybody that's been asking questions, hanging out in the chat, I appreciate it. You keep the stream and everything else a lot more interesting and active. And on top of that, this has just been fun for me. I don't really do TV shows much. I pretty much have done anime. This is the first TV show I'm uploading on my channel. So comment below. Let me know if you like this discussion. If you don't, be sure to give it a dislike. Let me know that you don't like it. That's cool. Either or, it's been a great time. So thank you guys for coming. And this is Goku of Light, and you guys have a great one.